And we're live. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay. Okay, now we're live. Just had to check for something. So, anyway. What is up, everybody? Brennan here, and I am officially 23 years old. Yeah, I know. 23 years ago today I was born. And what a life I've lived. So yeah. Hi Ian. I'm doing pretty good. Yes, I like Arthur, kids. Yes, I like Arthur K. Woodsification. I think it does a pretty good job with teaching lessons. Oh, and just a heads up, any unwanted requests will be ignored. I know, Marcus. It's a little hard to believe, but I'm an adult. So yeah. Yeah, I pretty much lived like a lucky life ever since I was born. And okay, now if anybody has any questions for me, you're more than welcome to spew them. I'm not pressuring you. Thank you for your birthday wishes, everyone. It really means a lot to me. Oh, and in case you haven't seen my latest community post, I actually got some video equipment. In the case of an anime I think it has to be One Piece. I've seen a few episodes of it, and it was pretty good. Yes, I did hear that the Blue's Clues pilot got released. I have yet to watch it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be good. No, I haven't seen the Super Mario Brothers movie, although I was pretty excited for it. I just didn't have the time to watch it, unfortunately. It's mainly because of college. Yes, and my zodiac sign is a Virgo. Yes, and my zodiac sign is a Virgo. Is that even a question at this point, Gregory? I hate that show to pieces. No, I didn't know that. It's pretty amazing that Spyro's been around for 25 years. Being a Go animator, um, it was fine for about say, um, I don't know, 6 or so years. But I think when 2021 came, I was just starting to lose some steam. Plus, the community was getting pretty toxic. I wasn't aware of it at the time, but now that I see that nobody can handle an opinion or even talk norm or even have a normal conversation, and the final straw for me for when I left the GoAnimate community was when someone from Isaac Anderson Animations' server thought that an imposter of me. The final straw for me before leaving the GoAnimate community was someone thinking an impersonator of me was actually me. Like, I was just so pissed off about how people can be so gullible with anything. That's the thing with the GoAnimate community. People could just be so immature and gullible. It honestly makes me sick. Actually, I have seen Tickety Talk. I thought it was a pretty good show at the time. In fact, the only reason I ended up watching it one day was because it premiered on my birthday back in 2012. I don't know that much about Chinese culture. Sorry. I'm going for my degree in. I'm choosing my certificate for digital media production. Uh, I know you've quit a video on the community. Those are also any grounded video requests because I'm done with that shit. No, Gregory, did you listen to what I said a few minutes ago? Probably Henry Danger. Especially since it's overplayed on Teen Nick. Oh, thank you, Cam. Funny that you should mention it, Ian, because I actually have been watching an episode of Oswald recently. I think it was the episode involving Pongo. Like, the only reason I watched it was because I liked the voice actor, Richard Kind. Boxers. I think Tiny Whiteys are a little kitty. I think Tidy Whiteys are a little kitty. They're a little kitty for my taste. So far, being 23 is pretty good. That's all I can say. I've been. They've been both taking it. I've been taking both in stride. Uh, they've been going pretty good for me so far. I've been doing pretty good in my college classes, and I've also been drawing a lot, which is probably why I wasn't like making videos that much on YouTube. Yeah, I quit the YouTube poop community. I'm not making another one. I'm sorry for people who are anticipating another YouTube poop poop, but I don't know. I just lost focus in making them. I just lost interest in making them. That movie sucks. I think South Park is all right. I just hope that we get some more South Park this year because, well, ever since the pandemic specials came out, for a few months, like, South Park has just been in limbo. Like, people aren't sure, like, what happened to it. It might be Trey Parker and Matt Stone having, like, creative burnout, but I don't know. I mean, I do remember watching a documentary where apparently a single South Park episode takes like 7 days to air, so yeah, that's probably why a lot of the episodes are cheap. Uh, Here's another thing I should add. Any political comments will also be ignored. I haven't seen Encanto, although I heard it was pretty good. Okay, so let's see. Uh Hmm. No, I haven't seen that trailer. I'm not into girl stuff. I'm sorry. I like Ren and Stimpy. It's certainly something. I haven't really played PlayStation. Sorry about that. I just had I just had to deal with something. Um I've seen Curious George before. I thought it was pretty good. Hmm. I haven't really seen Big Time Rush. No, I don't really have any meditation apps. I don't have any 2016 videos that I downloaded. Um I prefer Android. I mean, sorry, I prefer Apple. I prefer Apple. Okay. Phew. I'm sorry if I'm not getting to any of your questions. I just have to deal with something on Discord. I used to watch Super Mario Glitchy 4 as a kid. I definitely thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, I used to do my React series. Because it's just. If you hate Barney and Friends, why is your name Brandon Barney? That surname has been in my family for. That surname has been in my family for decades. Even before the dinosaur. If I remember correctly, some of my ancestors with the name Barney in it go all the way back to the 18th century. Not to mention my not to mention my great grandfather was actually a railroad conductor. So that might explain why I seem to like Thomas and Friends. Um, Ask away, DJ. Um, Enoch, what's your question? My favorite horror movie is The Thing. I used to watch that movie as a kid. Goes to show how awesome my parents are. I actually used to have quite a few VHS tapes. In fact, if I remember correctly, I took at least 10 VHSs home. 5 of them being Bob the Builder, 5 of them being Bear in the Big Blue House. My favorite cartoon is Ed and Nettie. It's actually one of my main inspirations for writing. I've seen a few clips of the Teletubbies reboot. I've seen a few clips of the CGI Teletubbies reboot, and it sucks. I think Canada's alright. My favorite cereal is Cheerios. Gotta get that brand in there. Yeah. Oh, hi, Martin. It's good to know that Sid learned his lesson at least. I might consider doing that. I might consider making more DVD openings if I can get some more DVDs. Good old PB&J. Nothing can beat that. No, I don't think Slendy Tubbies did anything. Um, Not really. I mean, I might have done some thinking about getting them, but when I actually went to go up online, when I actually went online to get them, I realized they were all sold out. All I can say about the Powerpuff Girls reboot is that I'm glad it got canceled quickly. Because it sucks. I haven't seen much of BFDI. There's a few fast food places that come to mind whenever I think of that. But on the top of my head, my favorites include Burger King, McDonald's, Subway, White Castle, Popeyes, and Windy City Grill. Of course, I think the Powerpuff Girls. Of course, I think the classic Powerpuff Girls is better because at least there's actual dignity in there, and that show had the right people working on it. Keep in mind, there was an episode of Powerpuff Girls Paintball that had a scene with the girls twerking in it. You know that one. No joke. That was written by an actual pedophile. I'm not even kidding. I think Beavis and Butthead are pretty good. I can imagine the Rugrats reboot sucking. Because I heard they turned Lou into a hippie. Yep. That's kind of scary to think about. Don't give Hollywood any ideas, Electric Blue Lightning. Michael Jackson rocks. I kind of wish I got to meet him if he was still alive. Oh, God, no. I heard some terrible things about that movie, and it makes me happier that I didn't see it in theaters. I like all three of them. I like all three of them. I haven't caught up with Bluey. Sorry. I haven't seen The Lion King yet, but the song "It's Great to Be a King," the song "I Just Can't Wait to Be King" is pretty good. He was good up until Jeffy showed up, and then he became. Oh, I was gonna say that. Like I was gonna say this, but I just realized that it's a slur, and well, to make things friendly, um, Super Mario Logan was pretty good up until Jeffy showed up. And then Logan became too ignorant for his own good. But the final nail in the coffin was when he got that cease and desist letter from Nintendo. At that point, I was just like, whatever. I was done with Super Mario Logan years ago. Ever since they introduced Jeffy. Because he overstayed his welcome, and he should just get out of the series and have more variety on the channel. I like Toy Story 1 and 2. And 3 for good measure. I've heard of Handy Manny, but I don't remember ever calling it a Bob the Builder ripoff. Yeah, Teletubbies is my childhood. Yes, I have watched Hey Arnold. I've seen a couple episodes of it with my friend Dylan Dubo. Even the infamous Arnold betrays Iggy. And I've also seen the Jungle Movie, which is also great. Eh, not really. I mean, I took a side glance at PJ Masks every now and then, but other than that, it was way past my time. I've heard of Apple and Onion, but I haven't seen any of the episodes. Although I heard that the voice of Professor Marmalade is in that series. I haven't seen Sausage Party. Although my dad saw, although my dad went to go see it. I'm not really surprised Mr. Beast was in that movie. I mean, that guy's a fucking millionaire for crying out loud. Uh, Heard of Austin Powers, but I haven't seen him. Although I do like Mike Myers. Though I do like Mike Myers. My favorite magical event in Teletubbies. Hmm. I think my favorite magical events include the Animal Parade, the Three Ships, the Dancing Bear, and the Magic House. Well, of course I've seen SpongeBob. Who hasn't? Dragon Tales was also my childhood. In fact, it's actually one of those few shows that I can continue going back to because it just has a charming vibe to it. It just makes me feel calm. It's one of those calm, relaxing shows that for some reason puts a smile on my face every time I see it. You and me both, Enoch. Those videos have to die. They weren't funny back then, and they're still not funny now. Neither were those childish dad videos. Those series need to die as well. I'm also going to ignore repeated questions. Funny enough, I have seen the Magic School Bus as a kid. I specifically remember the episode where Miss Frizzle's class learned how honey is made. And surprisingly enough, I've seen the entire series on Netflix. It goes to show how much knowledge I have in this little brain. Coco Melon needs to be seized and killed immediately. It's turning children into monsters. And whenever it's on, they just go, "Ugh." Rolf Saxon. That's the narrator I grew up with as a kid. Of course, I like Cartoon Network. One day I wish to go there someday and pitch my own show. I've heard of the offbeats, but I haven't seen them. Although I do like the little art style. The static pattern is very similar to Chowder. SpongeBob was just awful in A Pal for Gary. He didn't even thank him when he was being eaten. I could just say for the record that SpongeBob is just blind to reality and only cares about Gary, quote, upsetting the new pet. Like, even when Gary was being eaten alive, right in front of SpongeBob, he was just like, "You put Fluffy down right now." He was just like, "You put Fluffy down right now." Like, he didn't even care that Gary was being eaten. Like, I'm mind blown at at how bad it was. Like I know SpongeBob was like, I know SpongeBob's usually childlike. I know SpongeBob's usually like childlike and all, but this this ignorance of him, it was just so infuriating. And he didn't even thank Gary for saving him. Um, I like Roblox. I'm on that thing daily. I'm on that app daily. George Carlin, specifically because it's one of those shows that he looks back on fondly. I also like his little quips that he puts into his narration. Your question wasn't a question, Kenzo. It was just a bunch of random words jumbled together. Mainly shows from PBS Kids. Yeah, I was a PBS kid back then. My least favorite movie is Minions. My least favorite movie is Minions. Even when I was watching it in the theater, I was like, wow, this is terrible. Yes, I have seen the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. In fact, I think I used to own a DVD of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, although it was just the cartoon segments. Because the Powerpuff Girls was entering through seasonal rot, thanks to Chris Savino. Yeah, he's lived a pretty lucky life. We all know how lucky of a life he's lived. I think you mean pet abuser. Because Gary isn't even a child. Oh god, don't remind me. I've seen that episode at my grandma's on Nick on Demand. And even I thought it was a little. Ugh. I mean, I'm one for gross out in television, but not to this extreme. All I can ask is, why is Teen Titans Go still going? I'd probably air it on Cartoon Network. The Problem Solvers hurts my eyes. That's all I can say. Or at the very least, SpongeBob should have at least apologized to Gary for treating him horribly. I thought Tim Whitnell was a pretty good narrator for Teletubbies. He has a nice calm tone to him. I've seen at least bits and pieces of Odd Squad, but again, ahead of my time. Again, way past my time. Yes, I like Garfield. I think I remember seeing a DVD of Garfield. I think I remember like watching a Garfield DVD. Not sure what it was though. I have heard of Wild Kratts, and I think I watched it a few times. It's alright. All I can say for Daddy 05 is that I'm just glad those two kids got better parents. Because what they went through in those videos was just horrible. Haven't seen that. I haven't seen the live action One Piece. But I don't know. I'm kind of have this half and half where half of me thinks it's going to be good, but another half of me says I doubt it. The Peanut specials are classics. I still go out of my way to watch a Charlie Brown Christmas Daily. That and Arthur's Perfect Christmas. Grumpy Cat was a vintage classic. Rest in peace. Again, I'm not into girl stuff, Sophia. No, and I probably don't want to. Dexter's Lab is pretty good. That's all I can say. I haven't seen too much of the Hanna-Barbera stuff. I haven't seen a lot of Hanna-Barbera. I haven't seen a lot of Hanna-Barbera shows, so I can't really give you my opinions on any of them. I think the Thomas and Friends franchise has been going. The Thomas and Friends franchise has been going downhill since season 22 with the start of the Bwubba era. Actually, the Thomas and Friends franchise has been going downhill ever since Journey Beyond Sodor came out. I don't want to be reminded of Elsa Gate. My question to you is, you watch that crap? It's alright, Sophia. I just don't have the same interest as everybody. Most of the time. Nature Cat is alright. Again, haven't seen too much of Nature Cat, but I don't know. I get that it was made by the same studio that did Jack's Big Music Show, but I don't know. For some reason, I just didn't really like it. No, I think actually, Jonathan, I think season 20 should have been the series finale. I have heard of Between the Lions. In fact, just recently I've been actually watching a couple of episodes. And they still hold up. Cyber Chase is excellent. It does a great job with you know, it does a great job with all the topics of math. It's just really upsetting that Gilbert Gottfried died, though. Although I give Ron Pardo my best wishes. I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes of The Naughty Shop. It was kind of like a diet's Shiny Time Station. Funnily enough, it was made by one of the people. Funny enough, it was made by the same person that did Shiny Time Station. Funny enough, it was made by the same person that created Shiny Time Station. From what little I've seen of Bluey, I think it's one of the best kids shows out there. Tinky Winky only had one voice actor throughout the whole series, and that was Mark Heenahan. Dave Thompson said in an interview, Dave Thompson, one of the people that played Tinky Winky, said that he only did the body for Tinky Winky. He had a completely different voice. And I think when he left, Simon Shelton took his place for the body of Tinky Winky. And, yeah. Yes, Dave Thompson did have an interview. You can look it up for yourself. One of my friend's Baby Lamb Creations was also in it. It's been a while since I've seen Over the Hedge. But, I actually kind of like it. Yes, I have heard of Zaboomafoo. I watched it all the time as a kid. And I actually watched a couple of episodes recently. And they still hold up. I think WALL-E's a pretty cute movie. I thought it was interesting how they went in the direction of having no dialogue for the first half of the movie, but still telling a strong story. Of course, I hate Arthur's Big Hit. Who doesn't? I kind of thought Blue's Room was boring. I wouldn't call Ronald a villain. I think he's more of a barf character. Yes, I did know that Donovan Patton played Bot on Team Umizoomi. I could tell it was Joe from the voice. I haven't seen Team Umizoomi in a long time, so I don't know. What do you mean, have I never heard of it? Did you have a type? Was that a typo, Enoch? Because I have heard of Oh Yeah cartoons. I think that's how Fairly Odd Parents got its start. I don't know. I think it sucks too. Even Rob Paulson called it an old shame. Haven't seen American Tail, though I heard it's pretty good. My favorite voice actor is Tom Kenny. He'll always be SpongeBob to me. I hate Arthur's Big Hit because Arthur got punished. I hate Arthur's Big Hit because Arthur got punished for punching his sister, even though DW was in the wrong for doing. Even though DW was in the wrong for not listening to him. Honestly, I think both of them should have gotten punished. I mean, it would have been fair at least. I mean, seriously. I think DW in that episode was a karma Houdini. It's like, you can't even punish her because she's just so sweet and innocent. Bullshit! She got sent to her room in an episode in season 2, which was funnily called Go to Your Room DW. Yes, I know who Pee Wee Herman is. He was such an icon to everybody. I'm just surprised he's gone. I've lost interest in Sesame Street a long time ago, so I can't give you my opinion on the newer seasons. Yeah, you're right. She did give Arthur a half-assed apology. It's like she didn't even feel bad for it. I think Phineas and Ferb is one of the greatest Disney shows of all time. Right behind House of Mouse. No, and I probably never will. I don't know. Funny that you mentioned Funny that you mentioned Michael Jeter. Funny that you mentioned Mr. Noodle, because his brother was played by Michael Jeter, who was also in I think Jurassic Park, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, let me look it up. Yeah, he was in Jurassic Park. Unfortunately, it was the third movie. And I think one of his final roles was I think it was in the Polar Express. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said. Hey Arnold, International, whatever. The angry video game nerd is basically my brain. Only a teeny bit. Oh yeah, GW's very bad mood. She was a complete asshat in that episode. Especially since she got angry over a party she didn't get invited to by someone who she doesn't even know. And her best friend is Emily, for crying out loud. I mean, I get it if her best friend Emily didn't invite her to her party, but this is just a random kid that she didn't even interact with throughout the whole series. So, I'm just left wondering, what's the fucking point? I think the episode Bleep is one of the most funny episodes of the entire series. I'm planning on making several skits on this channel. You know what's funny, Ian? Sweet Pea Beauty's lesson is inner beauty. And yet it has some of the worst animation in the entire franchise. Sonic the Hedgehog is pretty good. I used to play as a flat. I used to play the Flash. I used to play Ultimate Sonic. I used to play Ultimate Sonic Flash, in my childhood. It was a hard one, to say the least. If your skip request is going to be something that I have no interest in, then you're out of luck. I've seen a little bit of one of the Jimmy Timmy Power Hours. I think it was at my grandma's. I can't give you my thoughts on Baby Einstein because, well, it's for fucking babies. It's in the fucking name. But Little Einsteins, that was my shit. God, my eyes are burning up. I love the Mr. Men show. I was actually watching a couple of episodes of it a few days ago. Still great. I'm only going to give my opinion on one of the shows you mentioned, Gumball. It's one of the funniest shows I've seen on Cartoon Network. Excellent stuff. The first one. It didn't need to go on for another 3 movies. No, I don't take requests for my random sketches. I just come up with the story at the top of my head, and then I just make up the dialogue as I go. In that video you saw a few days ago, that was all improvised. If the Flash animated videos are good, then yeah. And I do mean good as in the quality and the animation. Cartoon Network is far dependable on Teen Titans Go. I did not know that. It's funny how he went from voicing Gumball to Leonardo. Well, it brings out my artistic vision. No, but I know what you are. No electric pea shooter, but I know what you are. Getting put in timeout. The US dub of Bob the Builder. My birthday's been pretty good. The US dub of Wubsy, since that dub came first. Ink Lemonade is horrible. Take any squid. It's like you take a Squidward torture porn and make Patrick so smart. Like, it's like take a Squidward torture episode and make Patrick so aware of Squidward being tormented and just amplify it by 6. That's how bad it is. I've played one of Wubsy's Flash games. I think it had something involved a robot chicken. It was from the episode of Tale of Tales. Yeah, it was pretty interesting working on those speed paint videos. Okay, I think that about does it for this live stream. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you all when I do another live stream. Take care, and have a good night.